this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. Welcome to this gorgeous beach in Southern California. Today we're going to be concentrating on the revolving triangle. Now this is, for many, is can be quite challenging, but as we go through the sequence, your body will be warmed up enough to be able to at least make an attempt. It's a standing pose. I would suggest blocks if you have blocks. If you don't worry. Well, there are alternative ways to do this pose. The beauty of this pose is it stretches out the hips, but it also helps you to create stability. Because when you're in a twisting standing pose, you often feel unstable. So it kind of gets your body in a state of helping you to learn how to become more stable in an unstable position. So it's great in regards to life in general. How many times are we in a situation where we feel unstable? We feel unsafe, we feel insecure. So using this posture to help teach us how to deal with real life situations. So we'll start in just a moment, just to remind people that to subscribe to this video and comment, please comment, and gives me a thumbs up. That would be wonderful. I'm teaching from California, but I have a London studio that I teach live daily. So please join us. It would be wonderful to have you join us for live classes. So we'll get started. We're going to actually start on our backs. And if you have a strap, please feel free to grab the strap. If you don't, then you could do without. As you know, I don't have any props here, so I'll show you how to do without. The strap can be a towel, it could be a scarf, a belt. Doesn't have to be a yoga strap. Let's lower ourselves down. And as you can see, I'm sure you're looking at the beautiful scenery as you're doing your practice. Lying on your back with your feet flat on the ground, knees pointing up to the sky. Take a moment and wiggle around till you get that sensation of your hips being in line with one another. There's a plateau. You have a plateau on, between your hip bones. Try and even out that as much as possible. So it's a little bit of wiggling around. Feet are flat on the ground, knees are pointing up, and we will start with, take your hands onto your rib cage. Middle fingers are touching, just the tips of the middle fingers. And what we're going to do is take a breath in through the nose, and the hands are going to naturally, hopefully, maybe, pull apart without you having to actually make them pull apart or do anything to them. If they don't, it's just a matter of practicing. We're doing rib cage breathing, which is a yogic breath. So as you inhale, breathe into your rib cage. And as you exhale, draw up through the pelvic floor. So as if you're trying to not pee, that's a nice way of saying it. Pull the belly in, and then the fingertips will naturally come back together. Let's do about 3 sets here. Taking an inhale and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhaling, breathing into that rib cage, and exhaling. Drawing up through the pelvic floor as if you're trying to zip up tight trousers and pull the belly in. And that's our breathing. That's the way we breathe throughout our practice. Okay, let's hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to start with the left leg. Keep that left knee in and extend your right leg down on the ground, as if you're standing on that right foot. From here, straighten your left leg. Now this is where a strap might help, or again, not absolutely necessary. Take your hands and place them behind the calves, or maybe even behind your thigh. Now I want you to turn that top foot in a little bit so that the outer edge gets a stretch. So So as if I was pushing into a wall, you'd be pushing that outer edge of the foot into the wall. Turn the toes in, or the foot in. And from here, I want you to take that leg over across your right leg, left arm out to the side. Right hand you can use as a support. I don't want you to touch the ground with that left leg. Come about halfway or slightly further while still turning that foot in. You should feel a stretch all the way up the left side of your leg. This is the shape for beginning to create shape for revolving triangle. Then lift your leg back up and then hug your left knee into your chest and invite your right knee as well, hugging both. Let's place the feet flat on the ground for a moment. We're going to do an abs in between to wake up the tummy muscles. Hands behind your head, elbows angle in towards each other, pointing them up towards the ceiling or the sky. For me, it's the sky today. And taking a breath in, lift your head and shoulders up. Holding the breath, tailbone lifts. And then exhaling, I want you to pick your right knee up just as high as your right hip and twist your torso towards that right knee, elbows reaching up towards the sky. So you don't want the knee coming in. You don't want to bring the knee in towards the elbows. Keep it directly over your hip. And then inhaling, lowering the right foot down, lowering the tailbone down, come back to neutral. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone, exhaling, left knee lifts, and then twist. These are Anna Forrest twisting abs, knee to nose or knee to elbow. Elbows lift up, you're twisting, and then the knee remains directly over the hips, and then lower your left knee down, left foot down, and lower your tailbone and come back to neutral. One more set, either on the ground or with your legs up to a 90-degree angle. Holding the breath, tailbone lifts, exhaling, right knee stays where it is for the 90-degree angle version. Left leg extends forward. Twisting, lifting the tailbone, and then inhale, come back to neutral. Lower the tailbone down. Inhaling, tailbone lifts. Now twisting the elbows, straightening that right leg. Left knee stays directly over that hip. I know we want to bring that knee in, but we're not doing it. We'll lose the oblique muscles, the contractions. And then inhale back to center, lower the knees down, lower the feet down, I can say knees. Lower the head down, and then hug your knees into your chest. Okay. Now we're going to extend your left leg on the ground as if you're standing on that left leg. Keep your right knee in, straighten your right leg. Now first, get that leg as straight as possible, and for some of us it might be that the leg is lower or closer towards you, depending on the flexibility. Turn your right foot in. The whole foot. So you want to feel the stretch on the outside of that ankle. Now take your left hand, take it to the outside of that right leg, right arm out to the side, and gently cross it over your left leg. Shape that we want is right here. Stretching out that right hip all the way down the leg. Keep your toes turned in, or your whole foot turned in. And then lift your right leg back up and hug both knees into your chest. Okay, let's roll all the way up. Let's extend your legs. Let's fold forward. This is a wonderful stretch out, this one. Taking an inhale, lift back up. Take your right leg over your left leg, crossing it, right foot is flat. Now you have an option of left leg straight, or bring your left leg, bend it, as long as that right sit bone is pressing down. If it's not on the ground, then I would recommend the left leg to remain straight. Left arm, wrap it around your right knee. Take your chest, pull it a little bit to the left, to the right. Reach your right arm up and place it behind your lower back, as close to your sacrum. Inhaling, lifting, and exhaling, twisting. Oh, feels nice. Inhaling, lower your right shoulder down. Breathing in and breathing out. And then I want you to inhale back to center. If you have your legs straight, keep it straight. We want our right knee to stack over the left knee. Now you're on the outer edge of your right foot. Take your right hand underneath that right leg, just push it in and pull it up, but push down simultaneously and lean forward. You could take your left hand, push into that right foot and lean forward. This is a little tiny twist to the right. And breathe in and breathe out. Oh, I'm feeling this stretch today. It feels really good. Inhale, lift back up. Let's uncross our legs. Extend the legs. Let's reach the arms up. Both legs are straight. Exhale, forward fold. And take a breath in and take a breath out. Let's take an inhale, lift back up. Now you're going to take your left leg, cross it over your right, flatten out your left foot. Now, option here, right leg is straight or bend your right leg. Now, again, left sit bone needs to be resting or else I want your right leg straight. Take your right arm, wrap it around your left knee, inhaling, squeezing it in towards the chest. Lift your left arm up to the sky, place it behind your tailbone, inhale, lift up tall, and then twist from the navel to the crown of the head. Lower your left shoulder down and twist. Breathing in and breathing out. Oh. And then inhale back to center. And simply from here, even with your straight leg, keep your straight leg. Just bring your left knee a little bit over to the right until they're almost stacked. Not all of us can stack our knees. It depends on the flexibility in your hips. You're on the outer edge of that left foot now. Take your left hand underneath your right knee. Actually, right hand, sorry about that. And I want you to lean forward as you're pushing down, as you're pushing downward with that knee into that hand as you push up with that hand simultaneously. Should feel a stretch in that left glute muscle, the abductor muscles, and then lift back up. And then untwist. Come onto your hands and knees. Let's press back into a child's pose. Knees are hip distance apart because we're concentrating right now on the lower back as well. So a little bit of a rock and roll from side to side. And then let's inhale into your tabletop. Let's curl the toes under and press back, downward dog. Taking a breath in and take a breath out. Exhale through the mouth, audibly. Inhaling and exhaling. Now bend your right knee and press your left heel as close to the ground. It might not touch the ground. And I want you to just turn your right heel out to the right a little bit. So your right knee turns inward as your right heel turns out. You should feel the stretch all the way up to the left hip, maybe a little bit to the left hip, in the left hip. And then let's switch. Come back to your downward dog and then just bend your right knee and turn your left heel out. And then come back to center. Step your right foot between your hands. Fold over that front leg. You might have to bring your left foot in a little bit closer. You play here, find the best measurement, but you want your right heel in line with the back heel, not in line with the arch. And I want you to fold over in to your pyramid, taking a breath in and breathe out. And then rebend your right knee, step forward to the front of the mat, forward bend. At the front, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to roll up one vertebra at a time. Once you lift up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Let them float backwards a little bit as if you're trying to reach for something behind you. Take an inhale and exhale. Shoulders roll forward and roll back down the same way you came up. Hands to the ground. Step back into your downward dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Take an inhale and exhale. Step your left foot between your hands. Flatten out that back foot. Find the perfect distance, heel to heel, as opposed to arch to heel to heel, and fold over that front leg. This is where the blocks are really important for many of us because we can't get these legs straight. But no, if you have no blocks, then hands on the shins or hands on a table, whatever works. Fold over, breathing in and breathing out. And then rebend your front knee, take an inhale and exhale, step your right foot forward, forward bend. Taking an inhale and exhale, roll up one vertebra at a time. Once you lift up, shoulders roll back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, reach, take those arms as if you're trying to touch your fingers to the wall behind you. Or for me, I suppose it's the trees, bushes. And then inhale this time, reach your arms up to the sky. And bring your hands in front of your heart. Feet hip distance apart or slightly closer. Drop the hands down and behind you, then inhale, bend your knees. You're in a chair. We're going to twist. Take your hands together or make a fist with that left hand, right hand on the fist, and I want you to twist. Place your elbow either to the outside of that left thigh, or some of us can't get that far, so place it inside between the legs. I like to make a fist with my right hand, left hand on the fist, and twist. And then inhale back to center, come into a forward bend. And then rebend your knees, hands to heart. Twist to the right. Left elbow either between the legs, squeeze, or on the outside of that right thigh. Make a fist with that left hand, right hand on the fist. And twist, twisting. Preparing our bodies for that revolving triangle. And then inhaling back to center, and then lowering the hands down. Taking a pause here, inhaling and exhaling. And then step back, downward dog. Now, take a moment here, child's pose, and then we will move into our peak pose. Forehead resting on the ground, taking an inhale and exhaling. Okay, inhaling back into your tabletop, exhaling downward dog. Step your right foot between your hands, and you're going to flatten that back foot out. Right foot in line with your back foot this time. So your left hand is inside your right foot. Now this is where the block might become handy. Come onto the fingertips, press down, and then take your right hand and slide it towards your right hip. Take your thumb Place it inside your hip crease for a moment. Just kind of creating a little bit of a space between the hip joints. And then twist and look towards the right shoulder. Some of us, this is where we stay. Otherwise, you can lift your right arm up. Right leg is straight. If you need to bend that right knee, don't worry about it. Let it bend. And then lower down. And then step back, downward dog. Taking an inhale and exhale, step your left foot forward. Flatten out that back foot so they're in line with one another. Take your right hand inside your left foot. Left leg is straight. So thinking about triangle. And your left hand will slide up to your hip flexor. Thumb inside that crease. Just kind of move it around a little bit and pull it up to create space. And then begin that twist. Left knee, there's a micro bend to it. Or some of us just can't seem to straighten. We're not at the point where we can straighten. And then maybe left arm lifts. And breathe in. You might feel wobbly. That's the stability that we're talking about earlier. So we're learning how to create stability even though we're in an unstable situation. And then lower the hands down. And step back, downward dog. And then lower the knees to the ground. And let's press back into our child's pose. Take a pause here. Let's let ourselves settle down. And walk our hands to our knees. The beauty of these twists are they create space in parts of our body that never gets to do the, you don't move your body in that way normally. So we're twisting, we're resisting, we're going against a lot of muscle fiber that is quite dense. So we're twisting and we're stretching it to the point where we can then we'll feel actually more mobile, more supple. Let's lower ourselves down onto our backs. Once on our back, hug your knees into your chest. Little rocks from side to side. Place your left foot on the ground, right ankle on your left thigh. Open the arms out to the sides. Heel toe your left foot out a little bit, maybe to the edge of the mat, and drop both knees to the right. Soften the shoulders down. This is our spinal twist. And you should feel some hip. If this doesn't work for you, simply take that right foot off your left thigh and separate the legs. And then let's heel toe that left foot back onto the mat underneath your left knee. Take your right foot off that left thigh. Now place your left ankle on your right thigh. This is a pigeon modification of a variation of a pigeon pose. And drop both knees to the left, using your left leg as the weight. I'm looking at a beautiful bird in the tree. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So what's nice about the revolving triangle is that we twist out the spine, not just the lower back, but the whole spine, especially the middle, which is what needs it more than ever. Let's take that left foot off. Let's hug your knees into your chest one last time. Take a breath in, maybe bring your forehead to your knees, inhaling and exhale. Let yourself settle down into your Shavasana. Nothing more to do for the next few moments. either you could stay longer in your Shavasana or choose to come out, rolling onto your right side and pausing in a fetal shape. And then slowly and gently coming up into your cross-legged seat. I'm laughing because there was a helicopter, but as you probably heard. And once you're settled in, just take a moment and listen to the ocean. Listen to the sounds of nature. As I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal the practice for this session, where we've twisted and we've used muscles that we haven't used in maybe quite a while. Hamstring stretches, twisting, which is a nice way to detox your body. Thank you for being with me. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and I'll see you soon. If you enjoyed this class, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and comment.